What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Task Force Z, issue number 4. This one's written by Matthew Rosenberg. The cover is like Red Hood gets eaten, even though that's not really the case with this particular issue. But basically, this issue picks up after the events of the previous one, where we got the big reveal at who this Crispin character is, and it turned out to be Harvey Dent / Two-Face, which was a really surprising revelation. In fact, that revelation actually kind of made me shift my head in terms of what was going on here. I'm like, oh, well, this is actually really interesting. What directions could we go with in this thing? Why does he want to control a thing of zombies, which is just a dumb idea in general? But basically, this is his way of kind of doing good and almost in some ways redeeming himself, but he says he's doing it for the government. It's a little experiment that they're kind of conducting here, and it also has connections to Amanda Waller in that. Also, Task Force Z is kind of dealing with repercussions of being all dead Lazarus resin stuff. Jason's kind of sees Harvey's little note that he says it's legitimate, which it's just a handwritten note, which reminds me of the movie Benchwarmers, where it's not according to birth certificate, and it's just a piece of paper with a 20 in it that's just drawn in crayon. So the fact that he just has a handwritten note, oh, here you go, government agency, Jason's this is probably fake. But Harvey's yeah, why would I go through all this trouble to do this thing? But yeah, you come to find out that there is some realism to it because of Amanda Waller showing up later on this issue. Jason confronts Batman. They do some crime fighting together. Batman tries to pull Jason out of the situation that he's in. And basically from there, Jason's nah, I'm going to see this thing through to the end. Then afterwards, Waller comes face to face with Harvey Dent and talks to him about his whole Task Force Z situation. Says it's basically just stealing her idea, but just doing its own take on it, and what she calls an idea that is morally reprehensible, which is something that Two-Face rightfully calls her out. I mean, have you seen some of the shit Amanda Waller has done in DC Comics? She is a bitch, and she's done some very cruel and nasty things over the years. So, I mean, she's one to talk about being morally reprehensible, considering the things that she's had to do to cover up some of the terrible stuff that the government and whoever she works for has done. So you got that going on there. Also, Task Force Z goes out on another mission. They get into a bit of a scuffle, and they come face to face with another team at the end. So that's pretty much the issue in the nutshell. Art's my same opinion on the previous issues. Some works, some's great, some's okay. Like I said, this issue overall I thought was just kind of all right. I was curious to see the revelation of Two-Face involved with this thing, but it's just I mean, the reveal is just kind of all right. Waller showing up was interesting too, but the part where she calls him out for saying his thing is morally reprehensible, which for her to say is really shocking given the things that she's done in her history of DC Comics. So that was something interesting, at least. So I don't know. Like I said, I just thought this particular issue was just all right. I've liked other issues a bit more. I don't know. The Task Force Z storyline, there's just a lot of dumb with it, in the sense that why are we using Lazarus resin zombies? I think it's probably a terrible idea that's ultimately going to backfire, which Waller rightfully calls off as okay, this is just a stupid idea, which yeah, it is. At least with Suicide Squad, you got the bombs implanted to their head, but they're kind of cognitive functioning people who aren't necessarily going to eat someone, unless of course you're King Shark or something. But this, it's just okay, undead zombies, not a good idea. So, but it's something interesting and a little bit different, but not fully different, because it's basically Suicide Squad but with zombies, which even Waller calls out for. So I don't know. Like I said, I just thought this particular issue was all right. It's not something I'm yearning to revisit again. So there you go. Well, those are my thoughts on it. Tell me yours in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications. Be sure to come back next time, as I got a Harley Quinn review and Detective Comics, and then that'll be it for today. Wow, I'm going to try and pull out 8 videos in one day, which is a new record for me. So, at least I think so. So, all right, that's all. Take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.